the word that we're switched over now. So, hello. My name is Laurie. You may know me from past events, but if you don't, I run a lot of games and submit a lot of games, and I have a variety of games I'm very excited to show off at this event, and the first one is a game I played when I was young. This is Pac-Man World 2. Now, you may have played this on a lot of consoles. One of the best, this came out on the PS2, which is very good selling, but I'm actually playing this on GameCube 1.1. And I'll get into version specifics later in the run when they come up, but for now, I am all ready to begin. So, I'm going to press new game in 3, 2, 1, go. So, starting off, we're going to just mash the buttons to skip some cutscenes at the beginning. This game is a 3D platformer because these were huge in 2002. And the main thing we're going to be doing, as you saw in that first level, is called rev rolling. Rev rolling is, the best way I can put it is a spin dash, really. But it helps you move super fast, and it has some really funny stuff with physics. Specifically, like, when you rev roll into things, it can look kind of funny. So, I'm going to be abusing that. Like, you kind of saw what I just did with that ledge there. I'm going to kind of be using that throughout the run in order to do some things to my advantage. And sometimes it will screw me over. So, this part of the level has water. Water sucks. And I don't know how I turned around there. Can I stop turning around? We don't like being in water because it moves slow, obviously. And here... Alright, that was a good stop. So, as soon as you get into a certain range of that little glowy thing there, when the level ends, you lose control of the character. So in a lot of levels throughout the run, I'm going to want to try and stop myself as soon as I hit the end of the level thing. So that way I don't spend like a second skidding around before the game actually finishes the level. This level's got a lot of pits in it. Actually, the Japanese version of this game, all of these pits are filled in. We don't run on the Japanese version, although it's easy, even though it's like a lot easier. Well, some people do. It's a separate category. But it's slower only because it's a PS2 exclusive, and PS2 has the slowest loads out of any console for this game. The fastest loads, I think, is Xbox, but Xbox has a few Okay, I'm going to try this again because I want to make a platform cycle at the beginning of the stage. Xbox technically has the fastest loads, but it has some physics changes that make it slower than the GameCube version still. So yeah, this is the platform I wanted to make it on at the beginning of the stage. And now, as I mentioned a few stages ago with water being bad, I'm going to go for a trick called waterless. I'm going to be doing a set of specific rev rolls throughout this portion, and it's going to let me get across that whole section without ever touching the water. And with that, I got it pretty alright there. I didn't get the last part perfect. I could have used that button instead of ledge grabbing an extra time, but that was an okay stage. And now we're going to get into our first boss fight. Now, for some reason in the 6th era of consoles, in the 6th gen consoles, Blinky and Clyde swapped colors. So this is the orange ghost, but it is Blinky. And I'm going to be trying to do a 1 cycle on this fight. So, when your game is paused, Blinky still runs his invincibility frames. So, using that, I'm going to try and keep him in place for a while his invincibility frames run through by pausing the game, and that way he stays in place. The timer for how long he stays in place doesn't go down, but his invincibility frames do. Unfortunately, I didn't get another hit in there, so you saw him jump, so I'm getting what's called a 2 cycle. Ideally, you can 1 cycle that, but I mean, hey, I'll take a 2 cycle. So now we're getting into the second world of the game, the World 2 of World 2, and this is the first skip that's somewhat major within a level. Beetling Wood skip is going to come up about a third of the way through the stage, and skip, like, a bit under the third of the stage. First off, I'm going to die because I just have no depth perception, apparently. Trying to optimize some time here by not bouncing on these trampolines whenever possible, and instead, like, rolling between them. So, like... got it right that time. But the skip here is I'm going to move up here, jump onto this box, and roll this way. And I just landed on a trampoline that's much later in the level. Usually you're supposed to climb all the way up that tree, roll over to a different tree, and then jump down to that trampoline. But you skip climbing the tree with that roll. Now we're coming up at the very end of the level. Let's see how these ghosts are. If you eat a ghost similar to, like, original Pac-Man, there's, like, a second-long animation. So I don't want to eat the ghosts because otherwise, you know, I'm just stuck in place for a second while the game gives me points, which I don't really need. Truewood Forest is a pretty, boring stage between all the kind of chaos that goes on. But I mean, it's relaxing. It's a more relaxing stage compared to the others, but it's boring. A lot of cycles in this level based on these saw blades. They're global throughout the whole level, so I gotta be careful. Mess up, otherwise I may get some saw blade cycles I don't want. This game does have a pretty decently long portion of invincibility frames, as you can see. So, and I don't know how I didn't get hit by that. Here I'm gonna see if I can get a strat called Pacifist. Nope. Oh, I'm dead. That's actually I don't think I've ever died there in a run. That's the exact opposite of what you want to happen. Usually what the strat is you can save a tiny bit of time by, instead of killing that bear that I did right, platform without him hitting you. Otherwise you just kill him. But I died to him. And I really hope you liked that ending part of the stage, because you're gonna see it again. The upcoming level, Butane Pain, copy-pastes that level ending and puts it into the level. That's like a little bit further in, so I can get to it from the beginning and then leave it, and I'll get further into the level. This metal ball is really good. It keeps me basically invincible, and I want to keep it for a while because, well, I don't technically need it, but it's helpful right here. This part of the level, what you're supposed to do is do this very long ledge grab sequence to get to a metal ball, and hit that blue button. But instead, I just kind of damage boost through the fire and then jump onto a ledge that is later in the level, and that skips a decent part where I have to watch a cutscene, go back down the fire tree, and then go on a bunch of really long chains. Okay, I almost died there. But yeah, again, I really hope you liked the ending to the last level, because it's just cocky. You're gonna see a pretty cool strategy if I so like that and damage it multiple times in a row. In every other version of the game, and like if you're playing on any other system, Xbox, PS2, or Windows, because this had like a PC but not like a Steam, like a crappy Windows disc, you get this really big bounce off of the bosses when you rev. Saves a lot of time, and between those two bosses I mentioned, you can take the suboptimal loading times, because I'm going to be rev rolling a lot. I'm playing this level very safe compared to how I usually do, but it's very easy to lose control of yourself as it is an ice level. Fortunately, if you lose control of yourself, usually you can do these kick flips, and that's very good at controlling yourself on the ice. But ideally, we'll just be rolling on the ice and not have to worry about, you know, losing control. Ideally, we'll have control of our like any game I've played. And that one almost killed me. They basically, as the name suggests, have our rev roll move, and they use it. But this is the end of the level right here, so... And coming up, we have the hardest level. Not the hardest, actually. That's a lie. But, like, one of the most notorious... If I recall correctly. I don't remember the exact amount of time it takes. It's longer than most other levels in the game, and it sucks. I was on the ice there, which is cool if you're not rev rolling, but I want it to be rev rolling. Oh, that was nice. Just slid right into that. I don't... These snowballs aren't really dangerous. Like, you can vastly outspeed them, but it has the Crash Bandicoot boulder cam, which I'm not a fan. In this game, Pac-Man is a bit too eager to, like,
Sorry about this, everybody. We're going to be switching Laurie over from what we were previously using to Twitch because of too many technical issues with the service we were using before. So give us a few minutes and we will be right back up. Alright, we've got everything reset back up, and we're going to be running it now. Thank you very much for your patience.
Alright, I've noticed the timer's still running, so I'm just gonna unpause. Alright, I've noticed the timer's still running, so I'm just gonna unpause and keep explaining stuff. So, I think you missed it, but in this level there are these wind blowers, and what the wind blowers do is they are trying to deter you, really. They're trying to move you in an opposite direction. However, if you can control your rev roll well enough, and by that I mean if you hit the wind roller, like the wind blower, like soon enough into your like rev roll, like right at the beginning of it, you can actually get pretty good control of yourself despite being in the wind and go flying, as you saw there as well. We call them wind boosts because, you know, the wind gives us a boost, and it makes this part of the level much faster, but much less consistent, because although we do have some control of it, we don't have perfect control of it. Like, again, you're not supposed to have control of the wind. of, like, yourself once you hit the wind, rather. So the fact that we're able to snag any control out of it at all is already kind of amazing. The last one I might play a little bit safe, as in I might cut off my rev roll a little bit early just to ensure that I don't die. That was really good! Alright. Unfortunate for the frame drops, because that was actually a really good run-through of what is the biggest run killer up to this point in the game. And now we get to a really cool level. No pun intended. If you want to intend the puns, these last few levels have been really cool. But this one is actually just a lot of fun. We're on ice skates, and we have to go down a giant mountain. So one thing that I'm going to be trying to do is not getting hit by icicles, because as you saw there, I get a very long slipping animation, and I don't get control of myself, and I start to lose speed. But you see, sometimes when I'm not turning, Pac-Man is in, like, state where his hands are behind his back, like this. That means I'm going at the fastest speed I can. So that means just the acceleration at that point is entirely dependent on the terrain and not Pac-Man's actual movement. So all I can do is just hold up and move fast. This level, other than that, is pretty simple. If I jump on these ramps, I'm going to want to hit these boxes if I'm near them. Otherwise, I can just bonk into them and fall in the water. And this is like cold water, so I die if I fall into it. I turn into an ice cube, which is a nightmare. We're at the halfway point here. I'm gonna go for a skip on this one ramp coming up. I can save a little bit of time here if I'm at full speed by dying. That's why you don't want to get hit by icicles. The plan there is you can save a tiny bit of time by not using the ramp on that jump and instead just doing a YOLO jump for it. Like, I'll go for it again. Never mind, I'm gonna get hit by the icicle again. I'm not gonna go for that a third time. I think you get the point of the skip that I'm attempting there. I'm not even trying to do it! Okay, I'm gonna hug the left wall this time. Oh, this is not good. This level's just really cool. I want to be in it longer. There we go. Alright. We're through the second cave. That's kind of the format of this level, is there's two of these open sections and there's three caves in between them. It's like a sandwich. You've heard, is a hot dog a sandwich? Now you have, is Blade Mountain a sandwich? Alright, now we're in the final cave. Which doesn't have a lot of icicles, but it has a lot of water. So I need to be careful. Alright. Coming up, we're going to get to the final jump, where we're going to go off on a giant ramp. And as I mentioned earlier, with the Japanese version of this game actually being much easier, this ramp jump right here actually is just a pack-dot chain in the Japanese version. The Japanese version came out after the English version of this game, I believe. Or the US version. I don't know where PAL fits into all this, but... Next up, we have Pinky. And Pinky is... not fun. It's kind of the same as Inky's fight, except worse. Because Pinky is much lighter. I don't know what the machine is made of, but it's apparently lighter than a machine made of wood. So you go flying a lot easier. And she has 4 phases, and in phases 3 and 4, she actually takes 3 hits instead of 2. So I need to bounce off of her after the first hit, and then I'm gonna go for the same little, like, run up on her for phases, for hits 2 and 3. I messed up there. I'm messing up more. Also, these projectiles suck. You didn't see Inky's projectiles, because I'm epic. I don't know what she's doing now. I'm dead. Yeah, this is kind of an annoying fight because the fact that you can't just do the whole, like, cycle in one roll means that you kind of have to hope that your second roll is a good angle while she's moving, which is not fun. Per somebody in chat saying it, I'm going to turn the music down a bit, so just let me know if it's better. I'm heading into the volcano stages now. This world is really cool in the run. It has, like, one of the most annoying bosses in the run, but all the levels in it are really cool in my opinion. This first one into the volcano has some really focus on moving platforms. So similarly to the other level with moving platforms that I talk about a lot, I think it was Treewood Forest's Buzzsaws. Global, so I have to play good in order to get what I want. Fortunately, the cycle in this level that I want to make is actually, I usually get it, because this level doesn't have a lot of, like, skips or very hard things to it, so it's a pretty consistent stage, as long as you don't die in, like, one section that I might die in. Or ledge grab there. Alright. I don't know why I did that. That's not a strat. You ever just forget what is and isn't a strat in your speed game? Because me too. Alright. Alright, cool. I didn't die in that room. I thought I was going to. Alright. So yeah, this last room, I'm going to go for something platform cycle based. The platform cycle that is usually good for the ending of the level is not good for me. So I'm going to do a little trick here where I do this to make it to the end of the level instead of doing it the normal way. And now we have what is one of the biggest skips in the game. This is Volcanic Panic Skip. I've grabbed this chrome ball. Chrome is the metal ball. And then I have to move really fast because I only have a limited amount of time with the chrome ball. And I can stand in lava. This level is usually based around lowering the lava level. So because of that, there's this, like, out-of-bounds plane of lava that keeps track of some lava stuff or something. And I can, as you saw there, I can kind of rev roll under the lava. Or rev roll under the wall using the sinking in lava because I have the metal ball. And then I can cross the lava plane, and I kind of have to wait because the lava's being funky right now. Yeah, the lava is really weird when you do that. So you saw me kind of just die there, even though it looked everything was okay. That little platform that you saw me die hovering above, when I land on top of that little thing, the end of the level triggers, because the level ending is actually in that thing. So... Alright, I'm gonna be careful this time because of what happened last time. Oh, goodness. I was like a frame off from being fine there or something. So yeah, the lava kind of has to, as somebody mentioned in chat by saying too fast, the lava kind of has to accommodate to what the hell's going on with you. So it has to lower itself for a while in order for the goal to become attainable, unless you do a very, like, risky... unless you do, like, a very... Okay, I'm just gonna try this one again. Unless you do a very risky, like, butt bounce strat called Fast VP, and it saves a few seconds. But I do not like going for Fast VP. So... I think I can still be fine here. Oh, that was a good roll. Okay. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't die there. I might die here, though. Alright, I'm gonna... There we go! That took longer than I wanted it to. That was like 4th try. I guess 4th try isn't that bad. But all of the tries were like pretty lengthy tries because I got close almost every time. Oh my goodness. Good. So Magma Opus has a lot of like smaller skips that add up over the run. Or the level, rather. First off is Room Skip, which is the best name for a skip ever, where you just kind of die immediately because... I'm choking. So yeah, this is a giant room where usually what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, like, hit the switch to do this thing to get a platform to activate, but instead I'm just gonna ledge grab there to line myself up with a little, like, thingy on the ledge, like a little bump on the ledge, and I'm going to use it to get across that gap instead of doing the room normally. Then I'm going to grab this chrome ball, because usually you're supposed to walk across the lava at the right there and get a secret thing. However, instead, what I do is I bring it to the left, so I can walk across lava on the left side of the level, which is the path you need to go on to complete the level. So, that's good. Alright, and then the last part of the level, we have slide skip. I can't believe that! So that's actually kind of 2 skips in one. There are 4 slides there, and the first jump actually skips the first 2 slides, while the second jump skips the second 2 slides, or the 3rd and 4th slide. And that pillar that I was kind of moving towards slowly when moving to the second butt bounce, that's a visual cue to get the second skip 100% consistent. But the first one is you kind of just have to get used to moving to the right a specific amount. So this is Collide. There's some advanced strats in this fight that involve a lot of like these like 2-frame rev roll jumps and like also bouncing off of the hitbox of one of his eyeballs. I don't remember which one of his eyeballs, but there's a lot of really dumb strats to speed up this fight that I don't know how to do. So we're going to go through the more traditional version of this fight, which is when he lowers himself, because the gimmick of this thing is you can't rev roll into him like the other 2 bosses with this exact same machine shape, but he has to charge it in the lava every now and then. The goal is going to try and be to just butt bounce the gold, or the glass, twice within 1 cycle. And he has 5 phases, and every phase, because I guess that's how broken glass works, the hitbox that you actually have to butt bounce on gets smaller and smaller, which is not how it looks. But the hitbox gets like baby tiny in the ending portions of the fight, like the last 2 phases. So I could die here because the game just doesn't give me hits. So he's going to go down right here, and I'm going to go onto this. And yeah, like I butt bounced on that glass like a good 3 or 4 times after getting the first hit, and the game was just like, no. And that's not a 1-up. Where's the 1-up? Oh, okay, it's gone. Because I died, probably. Alright, let's try this again. Alright. Oh, I ran into fire. These projectiles that Clyde shoots, they leave like a lingering flame that hits you. And I ran into that while trying to survive. I just wanted to get back on the platform and see if I could just not do the double hit on this phase. But I got hit too much in the whole thing anyways. Oh, okay. Okay, Clyde. I see how it is. Alright. There we go! I got a double hit there, finally. Hitboxes are good. Alright, yeah, like, but if you thought, like, that hitbox was bad, this one is atrocious. And there's, like, a little, a funny joke among some people in the community, called, like, the climb to heaven, where you'll just struggle with this hitbox for so long. Oh, that was a really weird movement pattern, too. But you'll struggle with the Phase 5 hitbox for so long, you'll beat him by, like, you're, like, all the way in the sky in the boss arena. I kind of want to show it off because it's really funny, but at the same time it makes me very nervous, so I'm okay not having it happen. Oh, okay. Pac-Man. There's this funny little thing we like to call this game sometimes. It's called bad. That's what we like to call it sometimes. A lot of the time, actually. This game is bad. Okay. He's gonna move over here. I got this time. Ready? This is what I mean by hitboxes. I had a good lineup for, like, for the camera to easily catch his movement patterns. However, it took me 4 tries, and by the time I got the hit, like, the camera was already messed up. I think I might go for, like, one more double hit. And honestly, at this point, looking at the timer, I'm worried about estimate if I stay too long here, so I'm just going to try and get the game moving along. And die, apparently, to fireballs. This is a struggle. This game is really just a struggle. This fight is one of the biggest run killers, along with the previously mentioned Avalanche Alley. VP isn't even that big a run killer, but this level is just horrible. Or this boss, rather. And hello? He shot 1 fireball. You good, Clyde? Is your machine malfunctioning? Oh, I thought he was gonna do the thingy again. Alright. Yeah, okay. That was the start of the ascent to heaven. But we beat him. And now we have the water levels. The water levels are what happened if you made the game stop being enjoyable for a little while. Basically what these levels are they are mash fests, not really, but you're stuck moving forward. It's kind of like Star Fox, actually. That's the way I could put it. You're stuck moving forward, and you have a boost you can use every now and then, and it sucks. I kind of want to keep my health high as not to die, but also because there are some damage boosts you can do in this stage. We call them mine boosts because they're most commonly done using mines, because they're usually the only thing in the level that's, like, there's an abundance of them near each other. Sometimes throughout the course of these next 2 stages, you can hit a mine and then hit another mine with your invincibility frames, and it'll blow you up really forward, because I guess damage works funny in this game. I didn't get one there, which is usually where I get one. Like, there was a downwards boost that doesn't help because you move down instead of forward. But sometimes you can get these boosts where it pushes you forward at the speed that I went down, and those are good. Also, I want to avoid going against walls if I can, because I will get stuck on walls. But this is... Yeah, this level and the next level, there's not too much going on, so...
Sounds like a good time to read donations. And speaking of, we have $11 from Traylina. I'm in Team Laurie. Bring on the sick kicks and boosts. Also, just a reminder on the donation incentives, we have a bid for Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice. Do we save Kuro or kill Kuro? And the category bid war for Transformers the Game, Autobots versus Decepticons. Note that the previous incentive I listed off, Save Kuro, is in the lead with $10. We also have a Diamond and Pearl game bid war. Pearl is in the lead with $10. Diamond has $5.
I like the person who put 5 towards Pearl. Or Diamond. Other way around. Which one is winning?
Pearl is winning with
Gross.
$10.
Okay. I like the person who put 5 towards Diamond.
I'd say our runner has a favorite. And we have a Jazz Jackrabbit 2 character bid war. Laurie is in the lead with $11.
I'm winning!
And Jazz has none presently. We also have nothing on the Transformers bid war I mentioned.
Oh, okay, so one donation and what you want could be a reality.
Yeah, just one donation and you put Autobots or Decepticons in the lead.
Alright. This level is called Shark Attack because it has different music and more sharks. It is the same level. Not actually, it is different level design, but it's the same gameplay. And it gets better after this, by the way. It gets better.
Oh, that's clear.
Sarcastically better. But we still have just more time mashing through this part of the... This part of the game sucks. However, it is really easy, and you do appreciate an easy part of the run right after Clyde, which is, like, the biggest run killer in the game. And keep in mind, those were, like, not even advanced strats. You can do a bunch of, like, really specific stuff. And a lot of people are very good at that. I'm not very good at some of the frame-specific stuff in this game, because 3D platformers are actually not generally my strong suit, but this was the game I, like, started speedrunning on, so I've grown used to this one.
Shoutouts to nostalgia, huh?
Yeah.
So, in addition to...
Oh, there was like a little like mind boost type thing off a missile there. If you saw I was moving faster for a little while, that's good. But now, you like what is it that you like? You like those levels where I wasn't doing anything, right? Because this level is an actual auto-scroller. It's not like a one of those levels that you can mash through. It is quite literally an auto-scroller, and I can't do anything about it. So, how long is it, you might ask? It's 8 minutes. So, I'm going to be in this level. I entered it a little bit after the timer hit 38. I'm going to be in this level until a little bit after the timer hits 46. had to do a presentation today in school, and I brought in my GDQ badge to present, and I didn't put it back on my wall. It's back on my wall now. I'm gonna go take a second to also put the lanyard back where I usually put it. And now you know why this level sucks. Because it's not like Sky Chase from Sonic Adventure, where, you know, you can just sit in the corner, make a sandwich or something. You actually have to play the game, otherwise this level will kill you. And you don't want to die in an auto-scroller.
Well, while our auto-scroller is auto-scrolling, in addition to the bid wars I went over earlier, we also have some incentive runs that, if a certain threshold is met, we will have these runs added to the marathon. Mighty Gunvolt Burst has a hard mode incentive. That's at $5.35 right now. Super Mario Galaxy 2 will add on the perfect run. That's at $0.40. Wii Sports Resort, 5% play sax. Oh, right. So there's something involving a duck, and there's a saxophone, I guess.
You're gonna want to donate to that
at 55. That's 0 of 55 right now. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland has a run 100% instead incentive, which I assume it's at any percent otherwise.
Yes.
That's 0 of 60. And Kirby Air Ride is at 1 of $75, and the incentive is for 5 hot dogs, which is always a fun run. There are a lot of great donation incentives, and seriously, if you want your donation run, this is the time, because it's an auto-scroller. There isn't a lot happening.
If you ask a question in your donation and it is stream appropriate, I will answer it.
Wow, donation anime.
Donation AMA. Give the Trevor Project money and I'll answer questions. I'll talk about myself. That is actually something I don't do. timer at? Oh, we still have like 2 minutes. This is the eternal mood of running this game. My estimate is an hour, by the way, and I might get somewhat closest to that if the rest of this run goes decently alright. The world record for this game is almost exactly 41 minutes. So, like, that is close to 20% of the run if you're a world record runner. I keep trying to get health, and I keep not getting health. Alright, that's the level. I did it. Fun fact, that level has 5 oranges listed, but it actually contains 6 oranges. Isn't that just hilarious? No, it's not. Because you actually get cheated out of the bonus token you get for 100%ing a level if you get 102% in that level. So this is Mega Whale. Each propeller can take 9 hits before it breaks off. There's a very difficult setup that what it does is it goes for all 4 propellers in one cycle. And it's called One Cycle Whale. I don't know it because it's hard. And even those that know it, like, the consistency rate on it is very low. So, what I usually just go for is the quick 3, where you go for a double on the 2 rights in the first cycle, and then you just do the 2 left individually. The boss starts getting farther back with each phase, so it's very hard to actually do the 2 double strategy. So I don't go for it. And instead, there is like a different setup, like a 1-cycle-esque setup called 3-1, which is an easier way to 2-cycle the boss. That one just kind of eludes me, and I don't know why, so I just go for 2-1-1 and the 3-cycle. Like, you can see how far these torpedoes are moving now, though, before they hit the whale. But there we go, that's Mega Whale. So now we're on to the last world of the game, which is the Ghost Island. Was the hub in the first game, but now it's just been repurposed to a spooky final area. This first level is Haunted Boardwalk, my personal favorite level in the game. We get roller skates, and we have to go down a boardwalk. This level is going to feature a lot of kick flipping to control your height. Because there is no, like, jump height in this game unless you kick flip in the air. That can cancel your height right then and there, as you see me doing. And once we get to the first checkpoint of this level, which I'm going to be nearing pretty soon, so you'll see it. Oh my goodness, yeah, you see it up there, and then once I jump onto this platform, the platforms start breaking as soon as I step on them. And so kick flipping and height control can be pretty important in determining the way the platforms fall, because they do have like physics based on where you land on them, and like if you butt bounce on them or just normally land on them, how quickly they fall. So you have to kind of manipulate your jump height a bit to not get platforms that like ruin your momentum based on how sloped they are, or if you want a speed boost, you can get one. I did a little bit of a damage boost off of that ghost, actually. It's not really noticeable, but I noticed it. Or it's not really notable, rather. Because it's not consistent. I didn't plan to do that. Actually, yes, I did. But with all the kickflips that we do in this stage, there's something very dangerous in this game called butt bounce storage. And butt bounce storage is very loosely related to 8 frames, which is a trick that's useful in the last level of the game before the final boss. So in this game, in some weird transitions from ground to land, you have 8 frames where the game considers you on land, or from ground to air. The game has like 8 frames when you're in the air, where you can still like jump and stuff. And the roller skates are very weird in terms of transitions between states, unless you jump directly. And so combining that with a kickflip, if you try and jump and do a kickflip with that very weird 8-frame state, you can store a butt bounce, kinda, and you'll just immediately butt bounce the second that you jump, and in this level, that means falling in the water and dying. So that's not good. So I'm kind of being cautious that I jump early on some of these platforms that I don't want to have a bad angle on, so that I don't 8-frame. But like usually in 8-frame, what I mean is by weird is to kind of elaborate a little bit. If I do a transition from land to air in the middle of a land-specific animation, so like for example in the ice levels, if I were to slip into a pit, like while doing the ice sliding animation, that I could 8-frame when I'm done with that animation. And here in this level, we have a pretty normal level actually. I'll get more into 8 frames in the next level, but this one has a lot going on. It has cycles in it, which I already messed up because I didn't do the beginning perfectly. There's like a task cycle that no one's ever gotten here, and I'm gonna get like the worst cycle ever because I'm hitting everything and anything and losing all my time. But this level you actually saw me collect through. So this game does have a lot of collectibles, as 3D platformers in 2002 did. On top of all the pack dots in this stage, there are also fruits that you can collect, and each stage has a set amount. Usually this is not important, however, in this level, there are 2 chests that are required. Sometimes in stages what will happen is there will be these chests, so you have to have at least one of a certain fruit in order to open the chest. And this is the only level in which there are chests that are blocking like required platforms to advance through the level. So I need to get an apple and I think it was a strawberry in this stage, and you saw me get both of those. So that I can, oh no, it's a cherry, I'm an idiot. So that I can actually progress through the stage. Alright, we're getting close to where a platform cycle, like a major platform cycle is. And I think I did so bad on the level, the cycle wrapped back around to being pretty decent. Yeah, like this cycle is one that I think is the one that's usually like basically Taz. Or it's this one. One of the two. And I didn't get good cycles on those ones. But now we're going to get to the very end of the level here. I'm going to try and avoid all of these enemies by just ground pounding, or butt bouncing right here, not ground pounding, and skidding all the way over to the goal. And now we have the last level before the final boss. This level, Ghost Bayou, is kind of notorious for being a maze that is not very intuitive. as some mazes do. But like casual players get stuck here all the time because it's a very confusing maze. Because at the halfway point of the maze, it just kind of gives up and slaps you in an area with like no clear path. You basically have to find some stuff in a circle. I'm gonna skip all of it. So the first thing I did there was I went under the bridge, and going under the bridge let me get onto this dirt path. And then I switch over to this dirt path. And right now, I'm technically on the path that leads to the end of the level. However, the Pac-Dot chain to get to the middle of the level and the finish isn't there yet. I need to hit this button, which I did a very funny physics on this dirt path to get over to that button. And that button spawns a Pac-Dot chain at the end of this path. You might have seen it right there before I died. That Pac-Dot chain leads to the end of the level. Oh, I almost died there. Okay, I'm gonna kill you this time. Yeah, this Pac-Dot chain leads to the end of the level. So, a kind of weird transition from land to air is actually getting off of a Pac-Dot chain. So this is going to be called weight skip. I can do an 8-frame jump here. Just like that. And if I did it correctly, as soon as this cutscene ends, I'm going to... Nope, I didn't. So you see how I have to wait like 3 seconds here? Like 3 to 5 or something before the game lets me move into the goal. If you get the 8-frame jump and move correctly into that goal, you'll finish the level as soon as like the cutscene's finish, and you won't have to go through that waiting animation. But now we're moving into the final boss, so time will be on the last hit of this boss. This boss is 12 HP, and what I'm going to try and do in this fight is stun lock him just like that. So I'm going to intentional death here to get him set up in that phase before the cutscene. He has 4 health per phase for 3 phases and 12 total HP, and I'll just go with this fight. The first 2 phases, you can stun lock him for all 4 hits. The second phase, though, you can only do 2 hits, and then you have to chase him down like I'm trying to do right now. Technically, you can do all 4, however, it's like frame perfect for hits 3 and 4. So you can see how I'm kind of messing up and around right now. This is how I have to do the last phase, essentially. But I'm moving into the last phase now. Gonna try and get the first 2 hits by dying here. Time's gonna be when I get the 4th hit in phase 3. Okay, I'm gonna be safe here because there's a lot of fire trails on me right now, which means I could die if I'm not careful. And time! There we go. So that was spooky. The plot of this game is that the ghosts were playing around in Pac Village and they took the golden fruit off of this tree that, like, guarded Spooky, or like sealed Spooky away. And so the ghosts and Spooky worked together to wreak havoc. And we got all the golden fruit back from the bosses and beat Spooky. So that's Pac-Man World 2. It looks like even despite some of the stream stuff, I still went under estimate, so that's nice. I'd like to give a huge shout-outs to everyone in the Pac-Man community. It's a great set of people, a bunch of really good runners that have done a bunch of really cool things in the past, like, 5 years, really. 5 plus at this point. And this was one of the first, like, the game that I ran that I first, like, really enjoyed. And the first community that I really started connecting to, so this really brought me where I was, and I'm very glad that I had a showcase that was somewhat good of the game. And, yeah, that's really all I have to say, I guess. Yeah, shout outs to the Pac-Man community, and I have 3 runs tomorrow, so if you want more of me, then make sure to keep watching the marathon, because I'm here to stay.